Hey everyone, welcome back to the Toal Tribe channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm Laurient. This is baby Josiah. I had him in his mama-roo and he was chilling, he was super content, and I sat down to film this video and he got a little fussy. I think he's working through a little gas, which is TMI, but it's mom life, right? It's mom life. And he seems to just chill out a little bit more when he's being held, like most babies. So I'm gonna hold him for a little bit. He might fall asleep. If he does, I'll put him back in his swing so that I have my arms free. How does that sound to you? You're like, nah, I think you're just gonna hold me this whole time. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to react to our What We Packed in Baby's Hospital Bag video. So you can see how I feel about the items that we packed kind of in retrospect, like whether we really needed that much of something or whether we needed more of something or whether we literally didn't need to pack that at all. I just think sometimes it's helpful. I watched a few of these before packing our hospital bag to get an idea of what other new moms, you know, really loved having or didn't need to have and all that stuff. And then I kind of, you know, also added things that I thought that I would want for us in our situation. And so I think it's kind of cool in retrospect to go back and look at everything and see like what we really needed, what we didn't, what we needed more of, etc. But I think little man has fallen back to sleep, so I'm gonna try to gently place him back in his mama-roo so that I have my hands free to hold my phone to watch the video. Okay, perfect. Transfer was successful. He is out like a light. I have my phone here. I'm gonna pull up the video on YouTube. I'm gonna listen to it with headphones on and just kind of go through and react to the different things, give my feedback on it, and let's get into it. All right, so I'm starting it a little bit into the video because God knows nobody needs to see the first like 2 minutes of intro rambling, right? Good. So baby's hospital bag is just one of the diaper bags that I'll be carrying. This is the Lully Bebe backpack. It's like a faux leather. It's really nice. It's got some luxe details and finishing on there with the quilting and the gold hardware. I haven't carried this outside of the house yet. I haven't worn it outside the house, so I don't really know how it carries. But I will say that in terms of like the capacity, how much it could fit in here, like this thing's got a lot in there and there's still room. You can see the top is dented in. There's still room for more stuff. Pause. So I have been carrying that diaper bag now for a little over 2 weeks. So I have an idea of if I like the way it carries, etc. So while it does fit a lot of stuff, which is great if you're like a mom that's an overpacker, you have all of this room, I will say I don't love the way it carries a lot of stuff. So like I did notice that like leaving the hospital, trying to put it on my back while it was filled with all of the stuff we were leaving with, I did like hear something that sounded like, you know, when you put something on and like the seam rips. I heard something, the seam didn't rip, but you can definitely see that there is stretching of like where the straps get sewn into the backpack, which I don't love because it gives me a bad feeling that this backpack probably isn't gonna last me as long as I want it to. I think the backpack was like $130, $129. I got it at Nordstrom. Obviously, I will continue to carry it and give you a better assessment. I think after I've been carrying it for like maybe like 2 or 3 months, I'll give you a better review. I'll let you know whether the straps are totally fine. Maybe that was just breaking it in and they're okay, or if they're literally detaching from the backpack and it's garbage. I'll let you guys know. But in terms of capacity, like it does carry a lot. Since leaving the hospital, I don't carry as much in it. I usually just carry a few diapers, his wipes, like an outfit or two to change him into, just like very basic stuff. So I don't have like a week's worth of baby clothes in it, so it's never really as heavy now. So let's see. So starting with the outside pocket, I have a Purell surface disinfectant. So hospitals are kind of gross. Anything I feel like I might need to like spray down or whatever, I can do that with this. And then I also just have a little pocket back hand sanitizer from Bath and Body Works. This little passy pod is actually an itsy ritzy piece that I picked up at Bye Bye Baby a while ago. It just has like a little clip, so it's cool. You can clip it to your diaper bag, you can clip it to your keys if you're like on the go. And I just have in here the Nano Bebe pacifiers. These little deals, I talked about them in my haul video. I just think that they're probably a little bit better for newborns than some of the other pacifiers that I have. So I'm gonna just bring these. Okay, pause. So the Purell sanitizing spray, I did not need in the hospital. They actually had wipes that I was able to, like hospital grade wipes that I was able to like wipe down like surfaces of like the beds and the vinyl chair that like Mike slept on. I wiped all of that stuff down with those, so I didn't need that. That did come in handy because it stayed in there for our very first outing the next day after discharge when we had to bring him to get his bilirubin levels tested. We had to go to the outpatient area of the hospital, and he ended up needing to be changed. And so I cleaned the heck out of the changing table in the bathroom, and I was glad that I had that. Also, didn't need the pocket back hand sanitizer from Bath & Body Works in the hospital because we had one of those Purell dispensers, the foaming ones, like built onto the wall in our room, so we just used that while we were there. Thank God, because hand sanitizer is a hot commodity these days, and I'm glad we didn't use all of the ones that we had just while we were in the hospital. Somebody's getting a little upset over here. As for the pacifiers, the Nano Baby pacifiers, he actually really did like them. I'll link them down below for anybody that's interested. Those were a hit, and he used those while he was in the hospital. Let's get into it. Do it. It's stuffed, guys. It was. It's stuffed, and there's still room. So I'm gonna start with the stuff at the top. This little piece is a Cloud Island piece. It's just like a little flannel blanket. I used this previously as like a burp cloth. That's what we used it for. What I'm using it as. That's what we used it for. That's why I have it packed. He's not a big like spitter upper when he burps, so we didn't really need it a ton, but we did use it. But I will probably just use like the hospital swaddles and things like that. So that's why I only have one. I have a Little Miss Dessa ribbed jersey swaddle. This is in like an I think this is oatmeal, this color. I don't know, it's just really nice. It's really easy to swaddle in. It's a huge piece of fabric, and I loved it when we brought it to the hospital for the twins. I also have this copper pearl swaddle and matching hat. This is like an outer space theme. I love this set. It is just so adorable on. So I have packed it for this baby. Then I packed this Lulu Lollipop bamboo swaddle. This just has really pretty like rainbows on it. They're like neutral and little pops of greens and blues and stuff. And then I just have this little newborn hospital hat with a little pom-pom on it. So for swaddles, did we need 3 swaddles? No, we probably could have lived with 2. I mean, you do get the hospital ones. I hate using the hospital ones because they're really gross, but the hospital staff, the nurses, prefer to use those hard receiving blanket swaddles over the stretchy ones. I know that every time I had him in a stretchy one, if they took him back to get like any kind of blood work done or like anything else, they took them to, you know, the nursery area, he always came back in one of the hospital swaddles and not one of the ones that we brought. I just think that maybe the stretchy ones are a little bit too big and kind of intimidating for them. The Little Miss Dessa swaddle, that oatmeal one, that is my favorite swaddle. Like I would actually really love to purchase like 1 or 2 more. The copper pearl ones are really good. The Little Miss Dessa ones are bigger though. And I don't know why, I can get him in a really tight swaddle in those. And he's not able to break his arms free because he tries. And he sleeps better with them swaddled. So I really love those. All right. So now I'm gonna get into the clothing that the baby would wear in the hospital. A lot of people have mixed opinions about this because they feel like the hospital provides you with those white onesies and those swaddle blankets, and like that's really all you need, and you should just use that stuff while you're there and save your stuff for home. I feel differently. I prefer to see the clothes that I picked on the baby. I prefer to use the products that I like and that I know work and that I am comfortable with. A lot of you guys agreed with me on that, but you'd like to have your own stuff. Onesies on them, and oh my gosh, those things were horrible. Time out. So I had to do a couple bicycles with him, get the gas out, and rock him a little bit, and he's now laying in his pack and play with his pacifier. He'll probably fall back asleep. I think he's okay now, but if I have to keep getting up to like help him out, it is what it is. All right. I prefer to have my own stretchy, comfortable swaddles and my own baby clothes. It might also partially be scarred because with the twins, we went through a lot of clothes. Like it was 2 of them and there was constant clothes, and one of them had stomach issues from the very beginning. So like blowouts were super common in pretty much every outfit. And so it was tough. And so I'm scarred. So I might have packed too many clothes for like the actual hospital stay, but we'll see. So a lot of you guys did leave comments down below in that video saying that you did the same thing. You washed clothes, brought your own clothes with you to the hospital. It just made you feel better to see, you know, your baby and the clothes that you brought for them, knowing that they were clean and everything else. And so I felt validated. Thank you guys. But again, I was happy that I did that, that I brought stuff. Some people, I know I addressed it in the video, might have felt like I overpacked, and I kind of talked about why that would be, because I was in the hospital with twins previously, and I just felt like I needed a lot more than what I had, and so I just felt like I needed to pack a lot of stuff. And I will say that with Josiah, we didn't have any stomach issues where there were blowouts like with one of the previous babies that we were with in the hospital, but he was so small and has such skinny legs that he was peeing out of every single diaper, like all the time. And so he didn't like get any poop on any outfits, but he certainly peed on almost everything we put in him. We were calling him Josiah Carey in the hospital instead of Mariah Carey, because he was going through like 4 outfits a day. And so you're gonna see all the stuff that I packed. You're gonna be like, yeah, well, if you had to change a baby 4 times a day, like you would need a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So for starters, I really love knotted gowns for the nighttime. I just think it makes changing the baby while you're half asleep a lot easier. You just unknot the bottom. You actually wore that tie-dye one last night. And then you knot it back up. So this is from Kate Quinn. And then this is also from Kate Quinn. This is like a little kimono version. It's got the little ties and it's just a pretty yellow color. So we have, he did wear the yellow one in the hospital, but it was too big for him because it's a 0 to 3 month. And then we have some like sleepers. So for the sizing of clothes, not all newborn is made equal. So what I noticed when I was with the twins was that Target, the Carter's line for Target and like the Cat and Jack clothing newborn was smaller than like Carter's regular stuff. When I put a Carter's onesie or a Carter's like sleeper on one of the twins, they would swim in it. But if I put Carter's for Target, it fit them like a glove. It was super weird. So I don't necessarily think that the baby is gonna fit in 0 to 3 month like right off the bat. I think we're probably gonna start newborn. It's just a matter of how long are we gonna stay there. So I packed all newborn sizes, but I packed brands that fall on like the different size spectrum. So I have a Carter's for Target and a Cat and Jack, which runs small. This is, I love this one. I absolutely love this one. I don't know, I just think it's so super cute. It's like camo, but it's got dinosaurs. So this is Cat and Jack for Target. And then this one is just 1U, which is Carter's for Target, and it's got little puppies on it. And so these, like you can even see when I hold it, like this is really small. This runs pretty small. So these are if baby is on the smaller side. And then I also just have 2 regular Carter's sleepers for if the baby is a little bit longer or on the bigger side. So Josiah was 6 pounds 10 ounces at birth, and by the time we left the hospital, he was down to 6 pounds 5 ounces. So while he was a healthy weight, like that's still small for a baby, especially when I think the 7 pound range, 7 to 8 pound range is kind of like the average. So he was a little bit on the smaller side, and like I said earlier, he's skinny. Like he's a skinny baby. He is not a pudgy baby by any means. We're working on that. So the straight Carter's brand clothing, the sleepers that we packed, huge on him. At the time of me sitting down to film this, he's 2 weeks old and he still doesn't fit in those Carter's pieces. He's still wearing like the Carter's for Target and Cat and Jack for Target line stuff. The smaller newborn stuff he fits in. Carter's like separates, like the onesie shirts, they're a little bit long for him and a little baggy, but those are what we put him in. They fit just fine, especially when you pull up a little pair of pants on him. They're totally okay. And the pants are okay. They might just be like a little baggy, but those fit him pretty much fine. I mean, they're a little bit bigger on the waist, so I have to like really hike them up. But those fit him, so he wears those. But as far as sleepers goes, the bigger ones are still way too big on him. In terms of sleepers, I packed 4 different sleepers, but he only fit in 2 of them. So I have this outfit. It's a long sleeve. It says "Mighty Like Dad," and I just have little navy leggings to go with. And then I have this top. I love this little outfit. I have this striped top and these little joggers with the little lions on the knees. Like,
love those. He's wearing different sweatpants today, but I love those.
Hello? So cute. I've talked about this
That
before,
outfit was so cute. He wore it for literally an hour and then he peed on it.
Mom to be understands the need for the short sleeve onesies that go underneath outfits. You need 1 million of them. You're gonna look it up online and people are gonna say to bring 2 to 3 of them. They are liars. They are liars. Always bring more. You will not regret bringing more, but you will regret having not enough. So with that being said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them for one baby. So we packed 6 of them and we used every single one of them. Not a single one was left over from when we got back from the hospital. He peed, like I said, 1,000 times. He got pee all over his outfits. So we literally went through every single one of those. And I know that I actually had a commenter on that video. I think it was that video who had said like, she was pretty sure those little onesie undershirts are totally unnecessary and that she had never used them with her kids. And like, again, to each his own, like you might not use them. On the days where it's warmer here, I might not put him in one, especially at night because our room gets very, very toasty. So to have him in that, plus his sleeper, plus being swaddled, plus it's just warm in our room, it's a little bit too much. So a lot of the times I won't put him in one at night. But if we're downstairs, like on a day like today, I don't even know what the temperature is today, but it's a little bit chilly down here, I'll put him in one of those and then his outfit. And then I know that he's comfortable at that point. So, or if we're leaving the house on it, like if we're going to the doctor's, I try to put him in one of those too, because it's chilly. And the nurse at the hospital and even our pediatrician had said like, whatever you have on, however many layers you have on, you need to add 1 more for baby. So again, it's totally up to everyone. Everybody's opinion is different. So you're going to want bandana bibs. Again, yes. I might have too many here. I might be scarred from being with the twins and just being like constantly needing them. Cause like when there's 2, it feels like there's 1 million and you constantly need things. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Yeah. And let me tell you something. I use every single one of those bandana bibs. I could have used a few more. So what I was doing is because like you use them once and once the formula kind of dries on them, it gets kind of like, I don't want to say crusty, but like it does. The bib doesn't feel as soft as it used to, and that's kind of a gross feeling. Also, the formula stains them. Listen, I don't know why so many of them are patterns on white backgrounds for the bandana bibs, because the white just gets stained. It's kind of stupid, but they are. And so like you see that formula stain on there, you feel that it's like not as fresh, and like that kind of grosses you out to be like wiping their mouths with that and having it so close to their face. So what I was doing at the hospital is I would use like one bib for like 2 feedings, and then I would bring it in the bathroom and wash it in the sink with cold water and like a little bit of soap, like fragrance-free soap that they had in the hospital. And I would wash them and then I would hang them up in the bathroom to dry out. And so I was trying to constantly use at least as close to clean bibs as possible. But like I said, I packed 6. I could have had 6 more with me, to be honest. And I had a bunch of bibs because I only packed 6 when we still had a ton at home. And the first thing I did in the first like 4 days of being home was order another like 6-pack of bibs, not from Copper Pearl, a different brand that I can't remember. But I am constantly washing bibs and needing bibs, so I still don't think you can ever have enough of those. Now getting into the non-clothing related items, I have a wet bag in here. This actually was a freebie that came with my Mockingbird stroller. I also have little diaper bags. I probably won't need these up front, but I will when it's a diaper bag.
Didn't need the diaper bags at all. I mean,
who knows?
But I knew that I wasn't going to.
Like we have to stop and change like a blowout, and we need these. And I have 4 little pairs of socks and 1 little pair of mittens. I hate using these things. I feel like they don't really stay on very well. So for the socks and the mittens, I did use the socks because there were outfits where they weren't full sleepers, right? I had like outfits where they were like long sleeve onesies, and then I put on like little leggings or sweatpants. So whenever I had him in an outfit like that, I put a pair of socks on him as well. So I did use the socks. I don't think I used all however many pairs I packed. I think I only used 2 of the pairs. For the mittens, I thought that maybe the things that I had packed all had the built-in mittens, but actually a few things didn't, so I was glad that I did have those. There were also a few other outfits I'm just realizing that I didn't show you. I think it was only maybe 2 that we ended up bringing with us, and that's because they were his potential going home outfits. And so I actually even had a little bit more clothing than I even showed, but it was really good because like I said, we went through a lot of outfits, so I'm glad that I did have those those extras. I also have water wipes in here. Now, I know most people are like, you don't need a wipes when you're in the hospital. The hospital provides you with wipes, and they might, but I've never been to this hospital. I have no idea what they have. I can literally only go off of my past experience, and not to like sound like a repeating record, but like when we were with the twins,
I felt very repetitive.
Only had these, like, they were like a strong cloth, but it was definitely like a paper product, and you had to wet them yourself to wipe the baby. This hospital too had those horrible paper product wipes that you had to like wet yourself and use, and I was so grateful that we had our own package of water wipes to use while we were in the hospital, because while those other wipes are strong and they clean up messes really well, they're just super inconvenient. And I know on this video a couple of people left comments about how, you know, you could bring a spray bottle with you and spray the wipes so you don't have to run to the bathroom to, you know, get the wipes moist to wipe the baby. I know, but it's still just kind of inconvenient when you can just have your own package of wipes. And we used a lot of wipes. We really did. We almost went through that entire pack in the like 3 days that we were in the hospital. I also have diapers. I know the hospital will have diapers. These
we
are
didn't
not
need any
so
of
much
our
for
own
the
diapers.
hospital, so much as there for the ride home and the potential for there to be a situation where we have to stop and change a diaper. Last thing I have in here is a bottle of formula and a little nipple in its little sanitary packaging. I don't know what kind of formula they're gonna have at the hospital. They will likely give us formula to go home with. So the hospital actually did discharge us right in the middle of rush hour, which was so great of them, and we did hit some traffic. Luckily, not a ton, not enough for us to have to stop and feed him on the way home, which was really great. And they actually had him on Similac in the hospital. Before we left the hospital, we asked that pediatrician, and I actually had a call with our pediatrician that we were switching to about it, and asked if it would be okay to switch him from the Similac to the Infamil when we got home. And both pediatricians said that it was more than okay, and that those two are comparable between brands, and that we could switch. So he was on Similac for his first few days, and ever since we've been home, he's been on Infamil NeuroPro. She is empty. I have gone through everything that we have packed for the baby's hospital bag. The only thing that I didn't show you, but I probably will bring, I'll probably go in our hospital bag though, is a few books to read to the baby. I don't know, I just have this thing. I've always loved the idea of, you know, finally getting to be a mother and reading to my baby. So I did actually bring books. I brought 2 books, and I read them both to him while we were in the hospital. Like, you know, when you wake up for those like 2 a.m. feedings and you're exhausted, I would feed him in the rocking chair, and I would just read him a story when we were done. Not that he had any idea that anything that's going on, but I actually still do that with him a lot of the times when we wake up for our 3 a.m. feeding. I'll, you know, especially now that Mike's back at work, I don't want to wake him up by doing it in the room. So I bring Josiah into his nursery, we sit in his rocking chair, and I will feed him, and then I'll read him a book while he's just kind of falling back to sleep. So I love that time. So in summary, do I feel like I overpacked for the hospital? Nope, not at all. Actually, there were a couple of items that I wish that I even had more of, like sleepers that actually fit him. I know that I packed 2 different sizes because I really did think that he was gonna be bigger than he was. Like, I was shocked that he was only 6 pounds and 10 ounces and 19 inches long, because in one of birth mom sonograms, they had said that they thought he was kind of measuring big. So I was worried that he was gonna come out like this big baby and that he wasn't gonna fit into a lot of his stuff, and that was just not the case. So I wish I would have had 2 more sleepers in newborn that run smaller, like the Carters for Target or the Cat and Jack for Target, so that we had more options, because like I said, he peed on everything and we just went through a lot. And I could have packed 2 extra bibs, 2 extra undershirt onesies, just to have the bib system with washing them and letting them air dry. That did work. I wish that I would have maybe packed 2 bibs and like 2 more of the little white undershirt onesies. But that's really it. And maybe a couple more long sleeve onesies to just throw on with the leggings, because again, he went through, I'd put one on him, and then like literally an hour and a half, 2 hours later, he would need to be fully changed again. So overpacking, over preparing, mamas, go for it. If you feel like you need it, throw it in there. Like I always say, like, I don't see the harm of being like over prepared or having more than you need. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and seeing me react to what we packed in baby's hospital bag. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. channel, and it helps us to know the kind of content that you enjoy seeing. You can leave me any questions or comments you have down below. I would love to hear from you. Do not forget to subscribe for more content from us in the future, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!